It's finally happened. After all these years, Matt Damon and Ben Affleck are back on screen together. The best mates and distant cousins co-star in the latest big-budget blockbuster from Netflix, The Rip. This tells the story of Lieutenant Dane Dumas, the second in command of the tactical narcotics team in the Miami-Dade PD. His captain sends him a tip about a stash house before she is brutally executed, and he assembles his team to investigate. This includes Byrne, his closest friend. Dumas is still dealing with the fallout from the tragic death of his 10-year-old son. At the house, what the team thought would be a moderate couple of $100,000 turns out to be a $20 million mega haul, and Dumas goes into full panic mode, collecting everyone's phones, worried about the risks from and to the team. The plot progresses with tension and mistrust flaring up between Dumas and Byrne. Accusations and counter-accusations fly between them, both scared that the other wants to steal the money and or is in cahoots with the cartels, culminating in a massive fight that risks the team's cohesion and even safety. A massive gunfight leads to the unravelling of the truth behind the officer's death, who is the snitch and with whom they're working. Friends become friends again, the good guys win, and everything is tidied up under a beautiful sunset. The story is based on true events involving Sheriff Chris Cassiano, whose narcotics squad discovered $20 million in a stash house. The conspiracy, corruption and violent shootout and car chases are made up, but the tragic loss of Dumas' son was true, and the movie is dedicated to Cassiano's late son, Jake. The reported production budget was $100 million, which these days is par for the course. Damon and Affleck probably commanded the largest portions of that, but beyond that, it's hard to see where that money went. If there is any CGI, then it's incredibly minimal to the point of invisibility. The car chase at the end isn't exactly the biggest or most complicated either. Most of the movie happens at night, so what can be seen isn't exactly the clearest. So where did the money go? There are three main settings: the police station, the stash house and street, and the city highways. Even if the street was a built set, did it really cost so much to justify the budget? There are no significant stylistic choices, and the cinematography is pretty straightforward. The soundtrack isn't exactly dazzling either. So where did all the money go? Director John Carnahan has had a pretty decent yet mixed bag of credits. He wrote and directed Smokin' Aces, The A-Team and The Grey, and was also the writer for Bad Boys for Life and the remake of Death Wish. His involvement in this stems from his close friendship with Sheriff Cassiano. The Rip shows Carnahan to be a decent and competent director, but not inspiring or especially interesting either. Can't think of anything particularly bad about his work, but there's nothing special either. I didn't really see anything that made me think this could only be made by one auteur. Matt Damon and Ben Affleck work as well together as one would expect, given their collaborations in the past and their close friendship. They're convincing as wizened, cynical and tired cops who seem fed up with the way their worlds are and look ready to jump at any chance to change things for the better, however that may be. Beyond them, the cast doesn't really stand out. Stephen Yeun, Carl Chandler and Nestor Carbonell are recognisable and significant, but also forgettable. Sasha Calle, who plays the unfortunate resident of the stash house, does the most after the two stars. The Rip is a decent thriller with an interesting plot and a narrative that works nicely to misdirect without requiring too much suspension of belief. The opening scene did annoy me a bit. When the unfortunate cop Velez is being chased by gunmen, she repeatedly stops behind cars to concentrate on sending a text to Dumas. Apparently, sending a voice note wasn't an option. She could have sent the house info and details of her attackers while continuing to run for her life, rather than stopping and making herself an easy target. Other than that bit of petty nitpicking, there really isn't much wrong with it. It's well paced, well acted, well lit, well written, well set, well shot, well cast and well directed. Basically, it's well made. I'm not saying it's a masterpiece. It's good and definitely worth watching if you like an action thriller heist movie. And certainly better than some of the other big budget slop that Netflix has pumped out with glitzier production styles. Even better, at a total runtime of 1 hour 55 minutes, it's nice and tight and doesn't drag on with overly indulgent dramatic interactions and emotional monologues designed to capture the attention of awards voters. Every moment has its place and its purpose, and the movie doesn't flounce around trying to be anything more than it actually is. So, is The Rip worth it? Absolutely. It would have been worth the trip to the cinema too, so taking this freebie is definitely something I'd recommend.